you up right now. Are you there? Hold on. Are you there? Caller?
Hello?
Hey. Hey, what's going on?
Hey.
You're on with us. Can I ask who's calling?
This is Robert.
Hey, Robert.
Hey.
Yes, you're going to be at Vintage Villains Con. Robert LaSardo, folks, is with us right now. He is a working actor. If you...
Yes, we checked out the filmography. We're
impressed. quite amazed. We're excited to have you come to Danville to be at Vintage Villains Con this Saturday. Tell us a little bit about yourself. No.
You know, it's funny, when I look in the mirror sometimes, I have many questions.
Yes?
Oh, okay. Not a lot of answers.
I see. Well, he's done, we were on the air, and so I just took the call. Let me see. You've done The Shield. What's the race movie? Death Race? Correct?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Ghost Whisperer. I saw that you were very close to Jennifer Love Hewitt. I was definitely jealous about that.
Yeah, we all kind of live vicariously through that character, getting kind of up close and personal to little Miss Love there. Yeah, absolutely. You know, she's very nice, by the way. Very nice. And actually, I think she's a very talented actor. She's very, let's just say, giving. Yeah, very giving.
I enjoyed the Ghost Whisperer. I think it was definitely a great show.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, let me see. What brings you to town? Are you going through the area? Do you do the cons quite a bit?
Yeah. I mean, within the last couple of years, it's been very busy for me. I've been traveling, throughout the United States and also overseas, invited to various tattoo conventions. And so, yeah, I guess I'm relatively new on the scene. I've only been doing this a couple of years. I've met some actors and performers that have been on the circuit for, decades. So I'm kind of new to all of it. But it's just...
So how'd you get started? How'd you get started, sir?
In terms of what? With what?
With the acting. Did you start a modeling career and then did that go into acting, or did you...
No, not necessarily. I mean, for me, it was just, it just seemed to manifest without me engineering any kind of plan. I just was, when I was a young man, and I was and living in New York City, I was getting into a lot of trouble, and I had a teacher who basically saved my life. I mean, I had no interest in pursuing any type of career. I was just too busy trying to figure out how to get through the day without ending up, in a cage. So I had a teacher who was concerned about me and saw that I had difficulty focusing in the classroom and sitting still. And so she suggested that I take her drama class. And I trusted her. I felt she was like the one person that I felt wasn't lying to me. And so I got involved in the class, and before I knew it, I found myself smitten. I found myself involved and having a really good time, communicating a lot of the frustrations I had as a young man through the art form, through theater, through reading various plays, and coming to the realization as I read various playwrights that they also, like myself, came from a turbulent, tumultuous, situations, and they were communicating that in literature, and I was able to comprehend the subtext of that. And I guess it was cathartic, to stand on the stage and act out, work out a lot of the issues I had. But as far as a career and how that the bridge between that experience into Hollywood and professional career was just happenstance, man. It wasn't something like I planned, because after I finished my studies in school, because drama class was the thing that anchored me in school. Outside of that, I would have never even gone to school. And then from there, while I was in school, experimenting within the drama play, my teacher suggested that I audition for the High School for Performing Arts, and I did, and I was accepted. So I spent 3 years, getting deeper into the study of Stanislavski method acting.
Creating that. Yeah.
So I did my homework, man. I just found myself living through what saved me, I think, was my imagination. That imagination kept me, I guess, between the lines, so to speak, and out of the, So and then from there, I still was a bit confused in terms of my life and my destiny and all that shit and where I wanted to go. So I went into the Navy for 4 years to kind of figure stuff out. I had to travel around a bit. Yeah.
I see. Well, hey, if you haven't seen him, he's been in China Beach, NYPD Blue, Renegade, Pacific Blue. He's done Nip Tuck, he's done CSI Miami, Bones. I mean, you've been all over the place. Let me see, King of New York, Penn and Teller Get Killed, True Blood. You're a working actor. It's. Do you feel sometimes, because there's a lot of things in life, there's too much information and things end up getting tuned out, and you're one of the folks that does he want to come on?
No, he wants you to speak into the mic.
Okay. Oh, he wants me to have good microphone.
We're in trouble.
But I guess my question is do you feel typecast sometimes? I mean, can I ask you that question?
No, I'm glad that you asked me that question. I love that you asked me that question. My feeling about this is that there's no limitations in terms of the creative. Let me reframe that. I don't think there's any limitations. I think the limitations are constructed or written by the people in positions of power who perceive tattooed people as emotionally and psychologically defective. And I think that reflects in the writing. And so if there's any limitations or any limitation, it's within the minds of the creators of the mythology. So within the framework of that mythology, I'm free because I don't judge the character as good or bad. I let them do that. I just see a man placed in an extreme circumstance, up against the wall, so to speak, tortured by the circumstance, misperceived, and having to deal with that situation. And it brings to life a very real experience for me, because that's how I felt my whole life, misunderstood, kind of on the periphery of society and being judged because I made particular choices that were my own choices, not part of a trend or a fashion to tattoo myself, to communicate that as an art form or, for various reasons. And because of that, rather than that being celebrated, it's been demonized, and it's become this kind of nefarious culprit that continues to reappear in various mythologies stories and locked up in a cage. So for me, what I find is I try to look for the humanity within the character. I look for something in the character that authenticates that human being, so that he's not a cartoon, or he's not, there's something going on within the psyche and the conscience that people can identify with, so they may even feel sympathy or empathy for the character. So, more so than the writers do, because like I said, I think a lot of it has to do with a misperception of, the tattoo culture and people in it. So I think that's the issue. So the typecasting, I think, is a result of the people in power that make the decisions, to typecast, to lock into categories various people. Whether you have blonde hair, you're this height, so let's put you here. You're African American, you're Latino, you're Latino. We're going to put you here. So I think it's just stereotyping is across the board, man. I think we have to put people in categories and label them, which I don't agree with. Because I meet people from all walks of life.
I see. In
my travels that basically contradict or defy the stereotype. I know firemen that have tattoos that are sleeved down, that are saving people's lives, and risking their lives and going into burning buildings, and yet they're told by the Los Angeles, fire department they have to wear long sleeves because they're concerned about the image that projects. These men are heroes,
Really?
So, there's the hypocrisy of it right there. I think Hollywood is doing the same thing.
Yes. Really, our skin is just our suit. Our skin is just our suit. Our souls are inside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You seem like you've read, do you read Young or Campbell, like the Monomyth? Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, I know the works. Yeah, I know the works. I'm familiar with them. Yeah, I read a lot. So yeah.
When you were talking about character and typecast and the general roles you get, that it just made me think of that in terms of story, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to be, Robert LaSardo, actor, is going to be, person, human being, but he's an actor. He is an actor, folks. This is the Mid-Morning Mess. Yeah, I'm sure you do a lot of these.
I'm on my third cup of coffee. How many cups of coffee have you guys had?
He drinks soda or pop, wherever part of the country you're from, and I'm on my I one cup of like lukewarm water, but now I got some Colombian Kona. I mix them at the gas station.
Colombian Kona.
Well, no, I mix them. I Colombian Kona and regular, and then I've got one waiting just to get through this. But what can you tell us is coming up for you? What's going to be in the future?
Two films are coming out soon.
Who are you working with?
Two films we're getting theatrical release on Anarchy Parlor. It's Anarchy. It's very popular title these days. Anarchy Parlor will be released in theaters June 19th, but prior to that, it will have a pre-theatrical release May 12th, and all the basically, I guess, the on-demand iTunes and various cable satellite venues. There's a zillion of them. I can't keep up with how many, but it's going to hit 100 million screens. May 12th, and then June 19th, theatrical release across the United States, AMC theaters, etc. And then May 22nd, Human Centipede 3 will also get a theatrical release in the United States as well. And then, soon following, VOD and all the other endless platforms of media that it will be seen on Netflix, etc.
Have you noticed, since you started your career, that there are now more options to be an actor, to try and portray theater and different roles? I mean, have you noticed how things are changing? That it's not. It used to be differently.
Well, specifically with Anarchy Parlor, a film that was written by Kenny Gage and Devin Downs, who are the director-writer team, wrote this story with me in mind. And so to answer your question, yes, specifically with this film, because it's a situation of, to me, it's an example of emancipation. I'm no longer in handcuffs. I think the perception of Robert LaSardo, the actor, or the type, the only perception of me is in handcuffs, so to speak, or this kind of nefarious culprit all the time. So, to answer your question, yes, and the story allows some dexterity in terms of developing a fully developed character that communicates intelligence, who's a bit eccentric. He's an artist. He plays a tattoo artist. He owns his own shop. And, so in that sense, yeah, I mean, I feel it took 25 years for it to happen, but better that it happened than it didn't happen at all. So I'm grateful that, in my lifetime, I was able to come across two very brave men who allowed me a situation to just communicate the full range of a character and give it some substance.
Well, Mr. LaSardo, thank you for joining the Mid-Morning Mess on WPCD 88.7. You're going to be Saturday. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us. I'm sorry I wasn't here I was just busy when we came on, and then all of a sudden things start happening. That's why it's called the Mid-Morning Mess. But anyway, you're going to be out Saturday at Vintage Villains, and we've enjoyed having you as our guest.
Yes, thank you for calling.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
You have a nice day, and hopefully I can make it out there. I don't know what's going on, but this Saturday, Vintage Villains. Mr. LaSardo, stay on the line one moment, and we're going to figure out what's going on here. Let's see.